I just made episode 4, and I feel like making episode 5, so here we go. Yesterday, I read from the New Dictionary of Thoughts, being not a compilation, a cyclopedia of quotations. I read abasement and ability quotes, and now I will go to abodes and absence. Abodes. A castle, after all, is but a house, the dullest one when lacking company. James Sheridan Knowles. Absence. Absence from those we love is self from self, a deadly banishment. Shakespeare. Wives in their husbands' absences grow subtler, and daughters sometimes run off with the butler. Byron. Love reckons hours for months, and days for years, and every little absence is an age. Dryden. Absence in love is like water upon fire. A little quickens, but much extinguishes it. Hannah More. The absent are like children, helpless to defend themselves. Charles Reade. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Thomas Haynes Bailey. Absence lessens moderate passions and increases great ones, as the wind extinguishes the taper, but fans a fire. Rochefoucauld. That's a difficult name to pronounce. Distance of time and place generally cure what they seem to aggravate. And taking leave of our friends resembles taking leave of the world, of which it has been said that it is not death, but dying, which is terrible. Fielding. Absence, like death, sets a seal on the image of those we love. We cannot realize the intervening changes which time may have effected. Goldsmith. The absent are never without fault, nor the present without excuse. Franklin. The joy of meeting pays the pangs of absence, else who could bear it? Rowe. As the presence of those we love is as a double life, so absence, in its anxious longing and sense of vacancy, is as a foretaste of death. Anna Jameson. Ooh, and here we go to abstinence. In parentheses, see temperance. Abstinence is whereby a man refraineth from anything which he may lawfully claim. Eliot. Always rise from the table with an appetite, and you will never sit down without one. Pinn. Against diseases the strongest fence is the defense of virtue. Abstinence. Herrick. Abstinence is as easy to me as temperance would be difficult. Samuel Johnson. Refrain tonight, and that shall lend a hand of easiness to the next abstinence. The next more easy, for use, can almost change the stamp of nature, and either curb the devil or throw him out with wondrous potency. Shakespeare. The stomach begs and clamors, and listens to no precepts, and yet it is not an obdurate creditor, for it is dismissed with small payment if you give it only what you owe, and not as much as you can. Seneca. To set the mind above the appetites is the end of abstinence, which if not a virtue, is the groundwork of a virtue. Johnson. It is continued temperance which sustains the body for the longest period of time, and which most surely preserves it free from sickness. Carl W. Humboldt. Absurdities. There is nothing so absurd or ridiculous that has not at some time been said by some philosopher. Fontenelle says he would undertake to persuade the whole republic of readers to believe that the sun was neither the cause of light or heat, if he could only get 6 philosophers on his side. Goldsmith. To pardon those absurdities in ourselves which we condemn in others is neither better nor worse than to be more willing to be fools ourselves than to have others so. Pope. Abuse. Abuse is often of service. Johnson. It is the wit and policy of sin to hate those we have abused. Oh no, turn on battery saver. 15% life. I'm losing momentum. Just kidding. Okay. It is the wit and policy of sin to hate those we have abused. Davenant. I never yet heard man or woman much abused that I was not inclined to think the better of them, and to transfer the suspicion or dislike to the one who found pleasure in pointing out the defects of another. James Porter. Abuse of any one generally shows that he has marked traits of character. The stupid and indifferent are passed by in silence. Tryon Edwards. It is not he who gives abuse that affronts, but the view that we take of it as insulting, so that when one provokes you, it is your own opinion which is provoking. Epictetus. I would like to know how to pronounce that one. I mess it up all the time. Abuse me as much as you will. It is often a benefit rather than an injury. E. Not. Note. The difference between coarse and refined abuse is the difference between being bruised by a club and wounded by a poisoned arrow. Johnson. Cato, being scurrilously treated by a low and vicious fellow, quietly said to him, "A contest between us is very unequal, for thou canst bear ill language with ease, and return it with pleasure, but to me it is unusual to hear, and disagreeable to speak it. There are none more abusive to others than they that lie most open to it themselves. But the humor goes round, and he that laughs at me today will have somebody to laugh at him tomorrow." Seneca. Accent. Accent is the soul of language. It gives to it both feeling and truth. Rousseau. Accident. Nothing is or can be accidental with God. Longfellow. No accidents are so unlucky but that the wise may draw some advantage from them, nor are they any so lucky but that the foolish may turn them to their own prejudice. Roquefoucauld. Oh, I don't remember. I tried that earlier. Anywho, what reason, like the careful ant, draws laboriously together, the wind of accident sometimes collects in a moment. Schiller. What men call accident is the doing of God's providence. G. Bailey. Accuracy. Accuracy is the twin brother of honesty. Inaccuracy of dishonesty. C. Symonds. Accuracy of statement is one of the first elements of truth. Inaccuracy is a near kin to falsehood. Tryon Edwards. Acquaintance. If a man does not make new acquaintances as he advances through life, he will soon find himself left alone. One should keep his friendships in constant repair. Johnson. It is good discretion not to make too much of any man at the first, because one cannot hold out that proportion. Bacon? I like bacon. The person is alright too, I guess. I don't really know him. It is expedient to have acquaintance with those who have looked into the world, who know men, understand business, and can give you good intelligence and good advice when they are wanted. George Horne. Ha ha! Advice. Yeah, it's only good when it's wanted. I love the acquaintance of young people because, in the first place, I don't like to think myself growing old. In the next place. Oh, phone call! Shh, hold on, okay? I'll call you back. I lost my place. I love the acquaintance of young people because, in the first place, I don't like to think myself growing old. In the next place, young acquaintances must last longest, if they do last, and when young men have more virtue than old men, they have more generous sentiments in every respect. Johnson. 3 days of uninterrupted company in a vehicle will make you better acquainted with another than 1 hour's conversation with him every day for 3 years. Imagine that. 3 days of uninterrupted company in a vehicle with one person or a group of people will make you better acquainted with each other than 1 hour's conversation with those same people every day for 3 years. Lavater. Oh, also from Lavater. Never say you know a man till you have divided an inheritance with him. Aha! If a man is worth knowing at all, he is worth knowing well. Alexander Smith. And lastly, for today, acquirement. That which we acquire with most difficulty, we retain the longest, as those who have earned a fortune are commonly more careful of it than those by whom it may have been inherited. Colton. Every noble acquisition is attended with its risk. He who fears to encounter the one must not expect to obtain the other. Metastasio. All right. The next one will be action, and there are quite a few quotations for action. Maybe it'll be later today. Maybe it'll be tomorrow. Maybe it'll be months from now. Dun dun dun. Never know with myself, but I hope everybody that has listened in has enjoyed and has gained some insight and some things to relate to. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.